In Appcircle, you can completely determine what steps our build machines will take while running your build, and we call these workflows. To view a workflow, go to your build profiles detail and then tap workflows. Appcircle gives you default of 2 workflows, one for push events and one for pull requests. And you can add new workflows or delete or modify the existing ones. So to view this workflow, I tap this and I see a list of steps that our build machines will take from beginning to the end. So every time a build runs, it will start from the activate SSH private key step and go all the way down to export build artifact step. So each step has its own details. So any step that you tap is going to view its details. It has lots of parameters and outputs depending on the step. And each one of these steps are open source, so you can just view their source and make some changes, modify them, and create a pull request for us. Or you can just create your own workflow steps and also tell us that it should be added, and we add it right away. There are also some other options here. One of them is to temporarily disable this step while running your workflows. It will stay inside your workflow, but it will not run if you disable this toggle. You can also determine whether this is going to run even if the previous steps fail, or whether this workflow will continue to the next step if this step fails. And you can also give them custom names. Every step can be customizable with their name. Make sure that you rename your steps. That can be a little bit cryptic. Let's go back and see how we can edit this workflow. And I tap edit workflow to add new steps, delete the existing ones, or just change the position of these steps. So on the right, I see the available steps for my workflow, and on the left is my workflow. So if I really want to change something or delete something, I tap the delete button, it just goes away. And if I want something new, I can just drag and drop one of these steps to any part of my workflow, and it will be added. So let's just run these available steps one by one. So some of our clients are actually using Fastlane only and not doing any of the building in our build scripts. So they just delete everything and drag a Fastlane script like this. Flutter Install is installing Flutter, and you have to specify the version. If you don't want the latest Flutter version, you can install Node, installs the latest Node, but if you need a specific version of Node, you can change that from its details. Flutter Test is running a Flutter Test command. Export build artifacts is actually exporting whatever artifact has been generated. It could be an APK file, it could be an IPA file for iOS apps. We got Unreal build for UI testing, builds the app for UI testing. We have the build for Android, the Flutter build command. We have the Android dependency report for you. If you want to build for web, for instance, you can use the Flutter build for web. Firebase Test Lab for Android is actually running Firebase Test Lab tests. Flutter Analyze is analyzing your code. Upload files to Amazon. You can upload any artifacts or whatever file that's been generated to Amazon S3 with this step. This is for signing your app. We have npm and yarn commands. We have a step for sending your builds to AVS device farm. You can run your tests there. We have the pause processor for Android. Activate SSH private key is important if you have private dependencies in your repo. Appcircle requires you to provide an SSH private key so that it can just fetch those private repos, private dependencies. Git clone is cloning your Git repository, and custom script is the final one. So I just want to mention custom script again. In here, you can just write any Bash or Ruby script. You can just pick the language from here, and our build machines will run these scripts when it's their turn. And also, I want to specify the Flutter install. In here, you have to specify your Flutter version. This is something that we see always with the Flutter apps. They sometimes dismiss this and do not write any specific Flutter version, even though their project requires it. So make sure that you have the correct Flutter version entered here. Otherwise, it will always use the latest stable version. So this is basically it with workflows, and I'll see you on the next video.